Hi, this is Suhail Iqbal. I am a project management expert from Pakistan, Islamabad, and I keep getting many questions about so many management which are not understood by most of the people. A very recent question I received was why there is no human resource control in the monitoring and controlling process group of Project Management Body of Knowledge Guide 5th edition. It seems like PMI must have gone wrong somewhere. If you can have control for everything, why not for human resource? So this is the normal response I get from excited project managers when they find human resource management being an extremely important knowledge area, but no process for controlling their human resource in body of knowledge. Today, I will attempt to explain the reason and put to rest all your excitement and doubts for good. First of all, please do not take that as an insult to human resource management and look at it from project perspective. We are by no means attempting to belittle the importance and management of human resources in projects, nor are we treating them as machines or robots. Human resource management in projects is treated equally as important as elsewhere, and that is exactly the reason PMI understands that human resource only gets involved in the project when actual work has to be performed. And that happens only in executing process group, according to Project Management Body of Knowledge Guide, 5th edition. During initiation and planning, there is no major influx of human resource. People are taken on board on needed basis. Is required to involve in inception and planning of the project. The main body of the human resource is recruited or taken on board only during the execution, when we are trying to actually implement the project. During planning, like all other subsidiary plans, we create our human resource plan. We develop a detailed human resource plan, clearly mentioning what resources should be taken on board at what instance during the life of the project. For those few human resources who we have already taken on board for initiation and planning are not actually implementing the project work. They are actually planning it. But if you like, you may treat them as they are already in execution of their responsibilities. Before a human resource can be put on job, we have to ensure that the resource is capable enough to take on the job, is already been hired, recruited, or taken on board, have been placed in a team formed to perform the project, has adjusted with other team members as to be able to perform optimally, have been briefed, acquainted with the job to be performed. And if any training or team building effort is required to be undertaken, the resource has already gone through it. Only then this resource is ready to do the job on which he is assigned. This will ensure that the resource is fully armed and charged to undertake the job assigned as an efficient, effective, productive, and useful member of the team. And it is not the individual whose performance matters here, but the team. All this will have to happen during the execution, and before this person can be put on the job assigned as a team member. How all these processes will go on is to be very well defined in the human resource management plan during planning. Therefore, the cycle of forming the team, storming among the team members, norming or normalizing within the team must complete before the team can actually be asked to perform, which once performed satisfactorily would adjourn the team. Actual work accountable towards project success starts while they're performing, but we cannot expect the team to start performing until and unless the team has been formed, stormed, and normed, which all must take its time and must complete before the actual duration of the activity in question. So from the start date of the actual activity, work backwards as per the project human resource management plan and determine the date of bringing the resources on board and forming them in a team. We must make all efforts to reduce the storming time by disciplined and managed interaction. But then they must be normalized by then. The time for doing all this is being spent in execution. So we can see the human resource being managed during execution. We will see the control part in a while. But for now, let's look at the human resource processes defined during execution in the project management body of knowledge. The first process is in execution, the acquisition of the project team, acquire project team, where we actually mobilize the individual resources and form them into a team. Then we give them time to adjust as a team by minimal but only essential time spent in storming and norming. Develop project team, that is the second process, in execution. This is the process of briefing the team about their job, polishing their skills through any training, coaching, counseling, or facilitating. They will cement the relationship within the team and norming would have been achieved. That is the time when team is put on the job and actual duration of the activity starts after the team has been developed. So far, what we have done is we have hired the team, we have prepared the team. Now is the time to put the team on the job. That is the process of manage project team. Whatever is defined in project management plan, scope, time, and cost baselines would now be performed exactly according to the activity schedule. While the supervisor, the team member, will start managing them for the duration of that activity until they achieve their desired result or produce the expected product. If they do not perform well, the work will not be done right and will not result in desired product. So the work will fall back to the team for improvement and they will repeat it time till the time they do it right. But this redo may cost us heavily. So we need to identify the culprit and deal with her. As if she mends her ways and does it right. But project is not about individuals, but is all about team. We have informed the team lead about his team's poor performance. How he deals with the individual members of the team is the responsibility of the team lead, and project manager does not want to get involved in that. So as part of the monitoring and control responsibility. So in monitoring and control, we are not really dealing with the people. We are just dealing with the work, and we are sending that work down to execution. Whomsoever looking after the people, he would better be managing the people themselves. So all dealing with the human resource, good, bad, rewards or caution, all has to happen during execution and not in control. Having made this point, let me touch upon the issue from another angle. Is the project all about people? If it was, we would have given priority to HR needs over the project objectives, strategy, and even the organization. No, people here are people here are means to achieve the objective of the project and not the main objective themselves. Having said that, I by no means would say that human resources can be treated badly or unethically for the good of the project. We are supposed to comply with all HR management requirements, but that will happen during execution when the resources are actually employed on and accomplishing our responsibility. All dealings with any individual would be done in execution, because once the job is done, we may no more have this resource available to us. Monitoring and control process work is about the project and would basically be hooked on to meet the scope, but both the product scope and the project scope, we do not need a process here to write performance reports of the team or the individual processes, individual team members, because they can only be done by the person who is managing them. To meet the product scope, we first get the deliverables inspected through the quality control process, and when we have a verified deliverable which has passed to the quality control, it through the quality control, it can only go to the validate scope process, and that is the last stop, which will again inspect it, this time for user acceptance. Once a deliverable clears this inspection, it is now accepted deliverable, or you can say validated deliverable, ready to be handed over to the customer. To meet the project scope, we have to post, review all the work which has been completed for completion and acceptance of the processes and work which has been done. All the controls available in monitoring and control process group will receive a copy of this work performance data, whatever has been happening in the execution, and compare it with respective management plans. And by respective management plans or the project management plan, I mean the scope management plan, the schedule management plan, the cost management, and all other knowledge area management plans. So they are reviewed here. But as I said, there is no HR process in monitoring and control, therefore it will not be reviewed here, only HR. Here we are more concerned about the work, so work will be reviewed here. And all other processes, all other control processes are actually looking at the work which has been done and reviewing it, analyzing it. That would mean control schedule, for example, compare the work performance data with the schedule baseline and would do a thorough analysis of work performance to see if it is exactly in accordance with the plan or there is some variance. Whether the variance is positive or negative, does that mean there is any impact on the scope, time or cost baselines of the remaining work of the project? And if yes, then a change request is required that can be moved to the control schedule process. And the process which receives all these change requests is perform integrated change control, which is an integration process. But the work performance data and performance information. So every control, when it reviews the work performance data, the analysis result comes out of it as a work performance information. The same will happen in each control process, like control scope, control cost, control procurement, and so on and so forth. All the work performance and any forecast generated from the schedule or cost would be received by another integration process, which is monitor and control project work. All work performance information, when received by this process, are then consolidated, integrated into a single work performance report. This work performance report helps monitor and control project work process to further analyze the big picture holistically, and if there is any change request which has not been moved by any other process area, this monitor and control project work will be authorized to move any such change request. The work performance data and the change request so moved, if any, from here are also sent to the perform integrated change control, which is then responsible for approval or rejection of that change request it has so far received from this control and all other controls. And even from execution, some change requests are received directly from execution. Now, you have seen that all the controls, with an exception of perform integrated change control, are actually authorized to move a change request based on their analysis, either as a result of deliverable inspection or even post-review of the work by any of the controls. Work performance report is used here to help decide the fate of various change requests. All the analysis being carried out by various controls in monitoring and control process group is focused either on the deliverable or on the work, not on the humans, not on the individuals. There is no human resource being made answerable by name. The same work performance report we just talked about is sent back to execution process group to decide how the respective resources are dealt with, which may even be rewarded for good job done or coached for poor performance. So whatever is done to the human resources is done in execution, but maybe it is based on this work performance report, not the personal performance. Work performance has nothing to do with human resource, but it deals with the work of the project. The treatment method by the individual team members is based on the work performance report, but is by their respective team leaders or supervisors. That is why there is absolutely no need to have any control process for human resource in monitoring and control process flow. In case I'm unable to make my case, do let me know, as if we can seek even a better expert advice from someone, from some senior professional. But this is my 2 pennies worth. Thank you very much.